What's up, Totem Pole Nation? Welcome back to Lambo and Matt's World of Sports. Today we're getting into the men's basketball NCAA March Madness preview. All right, who's in, who's out, who's safely in, who is automatically qualified through conference tournament championships that have already happened. We'll get into all of that and a little bit more, some of the best players, guys to watch out for, dark horses to make a run. And they happen every year. There's always a Cinderella or two. So we'll get into our predictions, all of that, after we give a shout-out to Sideline Sports Network. And we make sure to remind you guys, visit TotemPoleNation.com for some gear. Our socials are scrolling below if you want to give us a follow. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into the episode right now.
We are less than 48 hours from Selection Sunday, all right? There's a lot of good teams and there's a lot of mid teams. Now, Virginia Tech hopes going to the ACC tournament. They are not going into the NCAA tournament. Things have to happen, but when NC State upset Duke last night, NC State looks like they're going to the tournament. But I'll get into that later. So there is one more spot, it looks like, for the number one seed. It's going to be between North Carolina and Tennessee. Tennessee has not played yet. They're played tonight against whoever in the North Carolina. Lord, North Carolina's playing Pitt. I mean, that's a very, very tough game tonight. Whoever wins or whoever loses, that's a potential one seed. But UConn looks like they're going to be the number two seed in the East region. And the potential of the Elite Eight game will take place in Boston, which UConn did win a championship last year. So if UConn makes it that far, that's their home field advantage right there. So first, the top overall seed, and this is not really – it's factual, but it's not really like set in stone just yet because ACC championship game is tomorrow. There's a couple other MAC conference championship games are today, and then the SEC championship is on Sunday. So it's not really official. But as of right now, as we speak, Purdue, top overall seed. Of course, you got Zach Edey. You got that tall 7-foot guy that can score and that can do everything. First team out is New Mexico. Not really shocking, but there's just so many other teams, like even McNeese State and Will Wade. All right, nobody talked about McNeese State getting it 32-3.
And from last year, they were like what? They won 11 games
and 23.
Yeah,
11 and 23.
11 and 23.
Will Wade said I'm going to win 23 games, and he won 32. So yes, McNeese State punched their ticket in. The last team in is Texas A&M. Buzz, Tech. We don't like Buzz, and he ain't as good as he once was, right? Had maybe a couple. He's in the tournament, but barely in the tournament. So here's who's on the bubble, right? As of right now, last four buys can be Michigan State, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, St. John's with Rick Pitino. Obviously, they're trying to rebuild that. Obviously, Rick Pitino, I think he was great in Louisville until he got that championship taken away, obviously, but it is what it is. Last four in. Seton Hall, Colorado, Virginia, and A&M. Well, Virginia is barely a 3 seed, and they barely beat Boston College last night. So Virginia can't shoot threes for anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get knocked out in the first round. The first four out would be New Mexico, Indiana State, Pittsburgh, and Providence. I think if Pittsburgh beats UNC tonight, everything changes. I think if they beat UNC, everything changes tonight. Next 4 hours will also be Kansas State, Wake Forest, Ohio State, and Villanova. Villanova is under a rebuild. Their head coach, Jay Wright, has retired. So they're a new coach and a new rebuild. Wake Forest, they had a couple bad losses. They had a couple good wins. They had a couple close losses. Wake Forest is Wake Forest, and I'm not sure.
Wake Forest beat Duke a couple weeks ago.
They did, but they got blown. They lost to Tech. They lost to a couple other teams they shouldn't have lost to as well. So after that, it kind of went on an up and down slump. But for the ACC, or actually just for as of right now for each conference breakdown, says I think this year is 68 teams this year. 68 team bracket. That's crazy.
Well,
68 teams.
because the 16 seeds in two of
Yeah.
them
Oh yeah,
have,
because of that first
yeah,
end. So like whoever plays on
yeah.
Tuesday plays on Thursday. So yeah,
It's
68.
always 68. It's always
68.
68. Just
I
play
thought
into
they,
that 64.
yeah. So as of now, I'm not gonna name all the teams. So you got to say your point. I'm not gonna name all the teams, but
Yeah.
there is 9 teams in the Big 12, 8 in the SEC, 6 in the Big East, 5 in the Big 10, 5 in the Mountain West, 4 teams in the ACC. Like I said, Virginia Tech ain't gonna be the fifth one. I'm sorry, they're not gonna be the fifth
That's
one.
ugly.
Pac-12 is gonna be 3, America's gonna be 2, WCC is gonna be 2, and Atlantic 10 is going to be 2, especially with the upset of Richmond losing last night as well, even though they're still probably be in the tournament. But we'll see how this goes. What is your thoughts on this tournament? Who's going to get robbed and who's going to go in? Because we've seen that before.
Well, getting robbed, I really wanted Indiana State to make it. You know, Bird's old college. They haven't been good since Bird left, and then they've got this random squad that's like 28-6, first place in the conference, but they lost in the conference championship, so they didn't get the automatic bid, and now they're the first 4 out. I don't know if there's anything on their resume that suggests they should make the tournament just based on who they've played. Like their best win is against like Murray State. You know, like and then when they've played actual contending teams in the tournament, they've lost by like 20. So I really wanted the squad to be in, but I can't really see an argument for them to be pushed into the first or last 4 in instead of first 4 out, unless, like you mentioned, like Virginia loses, or not. What am I talking about? Unless Virginia, you know, I really just wish Virginia's sharing the same pain is what I'm trying to say as us, because there's always that same shit talk regardless of the season between Tech and UVA. Doesn't matter what sport, there's going to be talk, right? And the whole thing this year has been how we're barely going to make it in and like they're going to make it in. Now we're not going to make it in at all, and they're on that barely slip. So I'm really hoping the cards don't fall for them. My hope is that Indiana State replaces Virginia, but I don't know if I really see it happening. Texas A&M, I don't know how much of a grudge Virginia Tech can really hold against Buzz anymore. Obviously, he did us dirty.
A lot.
I know people still hate him.
According to Tyler Nichols' dad, he can't stop
Well,
talking.
no, and I'm with it. Like I don't really, I'm not a huge fan of him either. He did us dirty for sure when he left, but I mean, if we're being honest, the only time we've been in the tournament under Mike Young was when we won the ACC championship. Like we won that to get like a 12 seed and play 5 seed Texas, who then beat us by 15 in the first round.
And that was the year that Texas almost made the Final Four that year, or Elite 8 in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, they were a good squad. They were a good
Yeah.
squad, but like the vibes were hot. It was like, yo, we just beat Duke in the ACC championship. Connor Couture put up 30. Like, we're gonna make a run, and we lost embarrassingly in the first round. So, if we're being honest about that whole situation, like there hasn't been anything positive since Buzz has left. You know, like we haven't made the tournament outside of, you know, having to win the ACC championship to get in it. So the vibes have been higher for sure, but the team hasn't. I'm going off on a Tech tangent here. They're not even in the tournament. Let's get back to the thing. Let's get into the automatic bids that have been clinched so far. Stetson College or Stetson University, I'm pretty sure this is their first tournament. So that's huge. They're from the Atlantic Sun Conference, the ASUN. I haven't heard of them, so my bad. Big Sky champion Montana State is in. Longwood is in from the Big South, another Virginia school. Charleston is in from the CAA. Oakland is in from the Horizon League. Drake is in from the Missouri Valley. Drake is who beat Indiana State. Wagner is in from the Northeast. Morehead State from the Ohio Valley. Colgate from the Patriot League. Samford from the Southern Conference. McNeese State, like we mentioned, from the Southland Conference. South Dakota State. James Madison after winning the Sun Belt. And St. Mary's from the West Coast Conference. So those are the automatic bids. All the big ones are happening, like today, tomorrow. And then we'll see, not final, obviously, because there is Selection Sunday, but we'll get a good grasp on what the bracket is going to look like. My money, I put UConn last year, and I won money on it. I had multiple brackets made for UConn. The only thing that's turning me off is like the likelihood of them going back to back. But I might be making a few more brackets for UConn again this year. I just think they're so complete, and I don't want to say they're better than they were last year, but I don't think that's a stretch to say at all. The only difference is now they have that respect that they didn't have fully going in. Although a lot of people did like them, I feel like this year they're definitely more of a talking point of someone that's going to make that long run.
Oh, I think you're missing one team. You're missing the number one team in the state of college basketball. Houston, Kevin Sampson, a longtime head coach. They got some dogs. Houston, I understand they hadn't really gotten far, but they made some noise in the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. Nobody's talking about Houston. Everybody's talking about UConn. Everybody's talking about Duke. I understand they're good teams, but Houston, I think Houston is a team that you should watch out for. I'm going to put my money on Houston possibly going to the Final Four. They're a sleeper team that nobody's really talking about. Like I said, I understand they played TCU in the Big 12 and they beat them so bad. At one point, the score was 16-0. Houston has a very, very good defense, right? They got some guys that can score. Houston, with that experience, with the roster that they have, Houston has a chance to make some noise. They'll unlikely get upset. But like I said, it's March Madness. We don't know who's going to win, who's going to lose. That's the great thing about March Madness. And also, it's hard to go ahead. It's hard to win back to back. But go ahead.
Yeah. So as it stands right now, Houston would be in the same quarter as Tennessee, and I'm with you. Houston has earned the 1 seed, right? Tennessee is going to give them a run for their money for sure. Led by one of the best players in the country. I think Tennessee Houston would be a very good Elite 8 matchup. And as much as I don't want to seem like a homer, UNC, looking how it is right now, they'd be the 1 seed in a quarter with, Baylor and Arizona are the 2 teams in there that you'd be really worried about, but I think UNC could handle both of them with the way that they're playing right now. Obviously, we have to let this championship game play a factor as well, but dude, UNC, this might be the year for Hugh to get his first ring as a Tar Heel head coach.
And Kansas, I know Kansas was in the Final Four a year ago.
They have to stay healthy, though. I should have mentioned that. They have to stay healthy.
There are 2 guys who's not playing in the tournament. They're not playing, and they lost to Cincinnati by 20 points, which is not good. So a not healthy Kansas team is not really going to help. But like I said, we'll see how this goes. There's still games being played today. Even though I'm a Kentucky fan, I like to say Kentucky, but the only reason why I didn't say Kentucky because I understand Kentucky scored is I think it's maybe the first team that scored 6 games over 100 plus points. But that defense is very, very suspect, and I'm very nervous.
That's a tough area too of the bracket. I know things are due to change, but they'd be on the same side as South Carolina, as Purdue, as Marquette. Wisconsin, they've got guys all through their side of the bracket that could make some noise before you even get to the Elite 8.
Yeah, that's very scary. We will have to see because Kentucky has lost to Kansas State, I think, last year. So very couple disappointments when they get to the second round. So if they have any shot at making it, they have to play defense. They have to play mistake-free ball. Obviously, they have a couple seniors on the team, but like I said, Kentucky always rebuilds from that freshman, sophomore class of getting those recruits. And there's going to be some mistakes made, but hopefully it's the year. But I don't see it as me being realistic. Now, if they make it, congratulations to them. But if I'm going to put my money on it, it's going to be Houston. Houston or UNC is probably the team that I put my money on. I hope Duke gets knocked out in the first round. Just like I was glad when they lost to NC State last night.
Hell yeah.
I was very, very happy. NC State is a very aggressive team. And like I said, Duke only has one guy. The other guy didn't even step up. They had one guy, and he fouled out the game. So what was the smart thing to do? Foul Phil Maskey. Foul him out the game. That was a smart one. Put him in the post. Put him one-on-one. Make him foul. Make him be aggressive. Get some charges. Look what NC State did. They shouldn't have made it that close with the missed free throws that they had, but that's how you beat Duke. Duke doesn't have anybody. The Coach K era is over. All right? It's over. I don't know about White Claws. Here's why I don't know about White Claws, because I was in D.C. at a hotel, and I accidentally had Chipotle, Tito's vodka, and orange juice and threw up the same night.
Brother. Oh, that's rough. That's rough.
I waited 2-3 hours to let the food digest, and I still threw up, so it didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I might wait till tomorrow to drink some alcohol or Sunday. I don't know. I just got off 2 days of throwing up. So we'll see how this goes.
Morgan have made some arrangements, so we're gonna get in some trouble this weekend.
Trouble. Well, don't get arrested.
Not actual trouble.
Just don't get arrested.
That's up to Captain. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Your product, your gear got shipped today. I shipped the gear today.
What's up?
I shipped your gear today. It will be in the house on Monday.
Let's go.
It'll be on Monday. But this is it for Lambo and Matt's Sports. We get like, comment, subscribe to Total Pole Nation. Want to thank Hustle Network for the platform. We'll catch you later. Y'all have a great day.
Peace out.